Now, if you buy a pack, say you buy a pack of, let's go with pigs. I'm kind of digging the pig idea, the flinging pigs, right? If you buy a pack of pigs, oh my goodness, I'm not making this easy.
Bacon sandwich, actually.
Oh, what are you saying that for? Man alive.
This is the Rising High Extended Tea Break, the game dev podcast bringing you the best practical, actionable advice for indie game developers. Brought to you by RisingHighAcademy.com. The kettle's on, so let's go listen in.
Hey there, Kevin here. Welcome to the Rising High Extended Tea Break. I'm joined with Jilly today. Hello, Jilly.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks for asking. I'm glad you brought the biscuits today.
That's because you know I haven't.
Oh well, never mind. So, what we're going to have a chat about today?
I thought we might have a chat about art direction.
Good topic.
Which way you're going with your game.
Yeah, very important.
It is.
I think it needs to be something that you really like as well. Before we start any of this, like you've got to enjoy the style. It's got to give you a buzz. You've got to be in love with the style of it.
That can influence you with the games you play as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
You like the look of.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's many beautiful games out there. I think for us, because we focus solely on the mobile casual market, we will look to the app stores to see what's trending at any given time.
Yeah, what everyone's liking.
Most importantly is what are Apple featuring.
Yeah.
Now, there's 4 staples that Apple really, really sort of consistently feature. Now, let's just be clear before we go any further that these games are not featured because they look lovely. It's the whole package.
Yeah, it's got to be the complete thing.
Yeah, but it's definitely you'll definitely see each and every week 4 different styles.
Yeah.
That are consistently featured by Apple. Now, those are voxel, flat, polygon, and pixel. Now, if you make a game in that art style, you're on a really good footing, in my opinion. I think you've got a really good chance of getting noticed by Apple.
Yeah.
You'll see one of those styles every single week being featured, if not multiple ones.
They just look nice, though.
They do. They're like the
friendly,
tried and tested sort of. They're not too. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to say like plain or ordinary. I'm thinking more like generic. Well, not. It's really difficult, the art styles for me, because I think the most important thing is whichever art style you decide to do, is that you have to own that style and nail it. You know, go all out. You know, you see these pixel games and then the UI's pixel, right? Yeah. And it's this whole sort of package about the art direction and the art production of a game. One interesting one, as I just thought of it, is the Splitter Critters. Now, Splitter Critters was, I'm pretty sure it was Game of the Year. It certainly won an Apple Design Award. And that art style, go and check it out in the App Store, Splitter Critters. They coupled a really interesting, unusual gameplay mechanic where you actually split the screen when you move. You don't control the characters.
I've not seen that around a lot.
Have you not?
At all. The only thing I can think of that's near that was the Old Man's Journey.
Yeah, that was on the similar ilk,
kind of
wasn't
like a
it?
Split. It was like we move.
Yeah, you sort of move the environment. That's right. So I know we're breaking away there. Sort of that's like a new mechanic sort of thing, right? But the point is that the art style was unusual. So it's not you don't have to do one of those 4 pillars of art styles that we just mentioned. But they used the very unique art style and owned it. That was my point. They like totally nailed it. It was like thoroughly consistent throughout the whole game. And everything seemed to fit nicely.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, though. It has to be, whatever you choose has got to be consistent.
That's right.
Not just through your gameplay, but through the UI and through everything.
Exactly.
You're
and
at.
one of the easiest tells to show the pros from the hobbyists is when you go and purchase artwork. Now, there's nothing particularly wrong with going and purchasing artwork. There's plenty of sites out there now that sell really good high quality art. Now, obviously, if you're looking to be super unique, this isn't the best way. But when you're starting out,
it's building blocks, isn't it?
There's some
It's buying
really,
yourself a kit kind of thing.
The kits are really good.
They are good.
Now we haven't
We have
really
messed about with a few
we've
of the
messed
pixel
about
kits.
Yeah, we
before.
have, to be fair.
And they're pretty interesting.
They are, but I mean, for us, we will heavily modify anything we buy if we do. But normally we make stuff from scratch.
They're slightly limited on
they
building
are
out a long way with.
Yeah, the trouble is with buying packs is that you always get to a point of a project
where you want something specific that is not in the pack.
That's right, and then you can't, and then you spend hours trying to hunt around for something that you're trying to crowbar in. That's right, and it doesn't really work.
Way to go.
So when you see it's a common mistake that you see in a lot of hobbyists that they buy one pack in a particular style and they buy another pack in a different style, and you can really see where they sort of mixed them together, and it doesn't fit. And again, that comes over as the overall thing, and I can spot it a mile off, and so can you. And it's a massive tell. But so if you're going to buy a pack, then kind of you've got to have a lot of forethought about it.
You've got to know in your head that pack is as far as your game's going to go.
Yeah, that's right. Unless you have the skills and to modify them or whatever. Yeah. Now, if you buy a pack, say you buy a pack of, let's go with pigs. I'm kind of digging the pig idea, the flinging pigs, right? If you buy a pack of pigs, oh my goodness, I'm not making this easy.
Bacon sandwich, actually.
Oh, what are you saying that for? Man alive. Let's go back to the flinging pack of pigs, right? And if I've got a pink pig, then we could easily put that into Photoshop or a similar art package and recolour that pink pig to a purple pig.
You could.
So that's one easy fix, right?
Well, what happens if you don't have, if you don't have Photoshop or you don't have skills like that?
Well, I think there's
then
something.
You're looking at outsourcing.
Yeah, see that again, that breaks into another topic, really. But I think as a game developer, you've got to have like basic skills. Of art software. You just have even if you outsource stuff, you don't want to be saying, "Oh, I want to change this red button to a green button."
Yeah,
it's totally inefficient, and it's going to cost you a bundle.
It is.
And to be fair, the amount of like stuff on YouTube of how to do basic Photoshop skills or Pixelmate or any of these freebies or whatever. I mean, I reckon it's worth. Certainly investing in something like Pixelmator, which is pretty much as close to Photoshop as you're going to get.
Yeah.
I think, you have to, if you're going to be doing this, either as a hobby or professionally, you got to have some tools in your arsenal, and you got to have basic skills to do this. So the point being is, if we bought that pig pack, we could change the colour of one of the characters in that pack easily to a purple pig, yeah. And then so all of a sudden, that pack has like extended its value because you can do like small modifications. So there's that part of it, but you've got to have a bit of pre-thought about, if I'm buying this pack of pigs and it's got all these different bits in it, if I'm thinking, well, I want to do 4 worlds, is this pack going to stretch that far?
Yeah.
Which
is okay if you can kind of colour it up a different.
Of course, that's the point, isn't it? You've just got to have have a think about it. I mean, these packs are dirt cheap as well. Like $12, $20.
I think they're really interesting.
They're great. I mean,
they've come a long way.
When we first started, there wasn't the plethora of sites that are out there now, and the quality just wasn't there. But there's a whole industry being built around it.
I know we had a look at a few packs a little while ago because you said to me that it's really come on a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
And all this like for $6.
Yeah, you just like
really?
Really? Come on now.
Sit and do that.
How can you not make a game out of this for that? It's definitely that. I mean, it's not something that's particularly on our radar. But we definitely don't, discount it at all.
It can be a bit inspiring, actually, to look around sites that do sell packs.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Ranges.
again, we're talking primarily 2D stuff here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got all the Unity asset store for all the 3D models. There's just tons. Honestly, we could list them, but you might as well just Google. And you'll just get so many. Now, there is a few, isn't there? I mean, we've used graphicriver.net.
Graphic River, yeah, good staple.
Yeah, what else we got?
Game Art Partners.
Yeah, they're a good one. Yeah.
Game Dev Market.
Game Dev Market, yeah, a bit newer on the block. They do some good sound as well.
Yeah, that's not a big site. I don't
No, I
think
think it's grown quite a lot, but yeah.
It's getting bigger. Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny's pretty famous out there for his art packs. He does some really cool stuff.
Open Game Art.
Open Game Art, yeah. Open Game Art is literally free, open source stuff. So where there's other sites, you could need to double check on the license, but pretty much you're golden if you buy anything off there. Open Game Art is the freebie stuff. We've never actually got anything off there, I don't think.
No, I think Graphic River's our main.
Yeah, that's really our go-to.
Yeah.
And if you want any of these links, you can head over to RisingHighAcademy.com. Anywho, so buying art. Is it a no-no? No, it's not a no-no, but just bear in mind that you are buying a license of it and it's not yours.
Yeah.
You know, opposed to having something commissioned. Now, if you go down, if you're not an artist or designer, which I know many people aren't, you can obviously outsource. And we have outsourced in the past.
We have, yeah.
We've gone through that malarkey quite a few times. We've been pretty lucky on the whole. Do you remember Gabby?
Yes.
Now, Gabby was stunningly good.
She was brilliant.
She was an ex-Disney.
She was ex-Disney.
Yeah, ex-Disney artist who worked on Kitchen Scramble, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the name of it.
Yeah, the original Kitchen Scramble.
Absolutely incredible. Now, we found her on, I think it was Dribble or Behance. So we didn't go through the sort of, what's the outsource site? Odesk. It's not called Odesk anymore.
No, it's not.
It's called,
oh God, what's it called now?
I don't know why they changed that name. It's so annoying. It was a mixture between Odesk and freelancer. Upwork.
That's it.
What on earth? Why did they bother? Anyways, so that's traditional where you would go. You'd go to what is now Upwork and look for a designer that way.
Yeah.
But we never found the quality on there. So I like to go on to like the sites of Dribble or Behance or other sort of art showcase portfolio sites and just contact these people directly. Normally they're pretty responsive, you know.
Yeah, she was lovely.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was pretty cheap as well, I have to say. Sorry, Gabby, if you're listening, but for what you pay, what we paid you, it was a shockingly good value, and her work was sterling. So we have outsourced in the past. It is recommended, but I think that's a bit more of a. You need to go more in depth about the pros and the cons to all of that, and how it sort of delves into the management style of stuff, and also, you know, how you manage the project. You know, do you have something like Trello or Asana to manage it and all of that? So we're not going to go into that today. But yeah, outsourcing is definitely a real thing, and very common as well. I mean, if certainly
an option.
You know, the thing is with this, if you find someone good, just keep hold of them and keep them happy.
Yeah,
that's the short version of that story. And obviously, because you can outsource from abroad. We're in the UK, where everyone costs £1 million for anything. But obviously, you know, in the poorer sort of countries, no disrespect in saying that, but we can outsource for what we get a bigger bang for our UK pound. So that's definitely something to consider, because you can get some what could be potentially good deals there for custom artwork for your game.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favourite style, Gilly? I know mine.
I like Pixel.
Yeah?
I'm playing a Pixel game at the moment that I really like.
Okay.
I like the Lara Croft's look.
The polygon. Lara Croft's a great looking game.
The the different shades.
Yeah, do you know what? That is
And it
one
gives depth.
game that I've seen in recent times where the palette is just phenomenal. I can't say that word. How do you say that word?
Phenomenal.
That's exactly what I said. I just totally dig the palette they used in that. It's a real pastel-y, sort of almost dull palette. I mean, it's a cracking game.
It reminds me of chalks.
Yeah, that's
Kind of
right.
like the chalk.
Yeah, exactly. Really, if you're ever looking for a decent palette for your game, go and check out Lara Croft Go. Absolutely stellar for palette. What else is there? So you like the polygon? I'm a big fan of the polygon myself. And I do like the voxel style.
I quite like the voxel.
Now, when we're talking voxel, we're talking Crossy Road. Now, I think everyone listening to this knows what Crossy Road. That's your blocky, and always almost exclusively used for fun games. You know, when the games...
Yeah, they're usually arcadey games.
Yeah, arcadey,
and
fun, silly games.
Yeah.
And it works especially well, which leads us on to quite an important point there, really, because your art style needs to match the style of your game.
The style of your game.
So can you imagine Monument Valley in like a voxel type silly art style? Right? It just wouldn't have the same...
Doesn't quite fit, does it?
Doesn't quite fit. You know, imagine you had a little duck instead of I don't know what they call it. It's like a woman with the hat on.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that being like a pig or
Monument
something.
2's got the woman and a little girl in it, but they're kind of the same figures.
Yeah, but that you can see how that the whole production of that game evolved around the art style, right? It wasn't in the it's not any single thing, but it's that cohesive package, and it all needs to fit. So I don't know what I've got. I've got something going on with pigs right now. But if you did imagine that being a pig, it'd have a very different feel. Even if everything else was the same, you replace that character with a pig.
It turns into a fun pig.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be the same, would it? And that kind of, I know that's a silly example, but that's the sort of, I think that does illustrate the point of how it needs to match.
I think Rodeo Stampede nailed it.
Yeah,
That's just fun straight away.
Another voxel game, absolutely knockout success in China. And everywhere else, but China especially, they've killed it. I don't know how many gazillion billion downloads they've had. Pretty sure that was the Pretty Great guys. There's some, or maybe I can't remember the name of those guys, but yeah, they've done really well. They've done some really good titles, and yeah, really, I enjoyed it on that game because it fits.
Yeah,
you know, that's the cruncher to it. What else is there? So we've gone from Polygon. So Polygon will be like Paco Echo, Lara Croft. We've gone Voxel, which is Crossy Road. I mean, Crossy Road. I mean, they just nailed it from Crossy Road. I mean, there's a ton of other Voxel games. Shooty Skies as well, which is a great one. Yeah. What was the one you said? Radio Stampede. Yeah. I mean, they're 10 a penny, right? There's hundreds of them now, all stemmed from the Crossy Road. What else is there? Pixel. So what you said you're playing a Pixel game right now? What's that?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what it's called.
Okay. Well, I'm
terrible with names.
No, that's okay. I mean, that's the trouble. That's one of the trouble with mobile games, isn't it? Remembering the names, it's really difficult. I think there's so many now. It's hard to keep up with. I mean, obviously the Pixel games, you've got the classic of like Tiny Tower, which is one of the App Store classics. I guess Cannonbolt as well, as like a real minimal pixel style. You got some really elaborate ones it's like Terraria. I can never say that one.
Terraria, isn't it? Terraria.
Yeah. So that's one. And what's the Brothers as well? We should have written these down before we started. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you just go top 100 games and you'll come across some pixel art games. And I think if a pixel art, it's funny, there's a lot of some of the people in the academy are going, well, I've got this game, can I just run like a Photoshop pixelator over it? And it's just like, no, it doesn't work like that.
No, it's not quite the same.
It doesn't work like that. So the pixel art, it's a real craft in itself. So whatever you do, don't buy a pack and try and make it pixely, because it just doesn't work like that.
We have tried it.
We did, well, yeah, I did try it a couple of times just as an experiment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're pretty well versed in Photoshop, and it doesn't work.
It's talent.
Yeah, it is a talent,
very
and you
much
need
talent.
it specifically
And
built.
you don't realise that until you actually just try and go and make
It's
something.
actually really hard.
It is very hard.
It's really hard to do.
It's all shading.
I'm pretty rubbish at it. Yeah. I'd love to be good at it, but I think like with one of these things, it's easy. Coming back to what we were talking about when we go and hire someone, this is talent stuff. These people, that's what they do. That's all they do. So be respectful of their craft, It's just like, don't haggle too much with these guys,
Yeah, it's not something you can just change with a program.
No, that's right. Respect the craft, I would say. Okay, so what we got then? We got the other ones. I think most of it is important. It's just like your art is going to be like the thing that your customers are going to see, right? That really can be a deal breaker.
It's got to be high quality.
Yeah, don't cut corners with your artwork. Even if it's just, we've done plenty of simple games with shapes. And one of the reasons for that, in all fairness, A, they were on style at the time, and B, they're so easy to execute on.
Yeah,
you can't really go wrong with drawing a circle, right? You can't really bodge that up. And keeping everything consistent with that, with like a geometric shapes, is really easy to execute well on. But yeah, don't skimp on your artwork. It's just it's not a good thing
at all. It's a slippery slope.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, keep it super consistent. Don't mix and match styles. What else we got?
I think it's important to keep whatever it is you're using, whatever style you're using, is to keep it kind of condensed.
How do you mean?
I'm trying to explain what I mean by that. Like caves.
Yeah.
We gave ourselves so many assets of that type.
Yeah, I think for that comes more really into the game building side of things, and how we sort of try to rinse as much as we can to like scrape the creativity, right? I think what's most important really, when like primarily on art style, is that it needs to be high quality these days. The shonky graphics are not going to cut it. Apple wants to see high quality graphics. Publishers certainly want to see it. So if you're looking to get your game published, your art style and your artwork has got to be top drawer. And most importantly of all of that, players want to see it.
Yeah.
Players do not want crappy artwork and play crappy looking games. It's 2018. People have moved on. The displays on our devices are all Retina for the most part. And it really shows if you've got shonky graphics.
It demands that, devices demand quality.
Absolutely. So I think we went through some of the sites. You can do this on a budget, but if you've got funds to throw at your project, I think it's a really good place to allocate funds to. If you've got, I would be looking at 70% of the funds on artwork at least. Now, I'll just pick that out of the air. I've just made it up. But, I think if you've got a budget, it's really important to have that. It's money well spent.
Yeah.
Putting it on your artwork to having a great looking game. Of course, as we spoke about, it's only one part of the puzzle, but it's a super important part. Crappy graphics just are not going to cut it.
It's for your own enthusiasm, really, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're working with something that's a little bit under par, it doesn't really spur you on.
And on the flip side, when you see something and you just go, oh wow, that is a really good feeling as a game builder. It's like, this is cool, and you've got to feel that in your heart. You've got to feel it in your heart to make the best products ever. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is matching, and we did a little bit. We touched on it just a minute ago about the Monument Valley pig thing. So do make sure that if you've got a start, when you've worked out what game you're going to build, make sure their art style fits it. And I can't hammer home that enough, because it really does set the tone for the overall game. So be very mindful of your gameplay versus art style and the mood of your game as well. And then that sort of becomes complete with the music.
Yeah,
and we'll talk a bit about music at some point. But matching your gameplay with your art style and your music, then you're now talking about having a product.
You've got a package there.
Absolutely, full package. That's it. All right, so we mentioned some of the art sites. Honestly, do a Google for it. We will have, as I mentioned, we'll have the links to the sites we've mentioned over on the show page at Rising High Academy. So go check that out, and also get in contact with us via our little contact form there. Ask us any questions you want. We'd be happy to answer them. And of course, if you're looking for a little bit more in-depth training and stuff, head over to the Academy anyway and check out what we've got, and come and get involved in the community and all our training processes and all that good stuff. So, Jilly, I think that about wraps it up.
I think it does.
And you're off to buy biscuits, right? There's no need to laugh. Why are you laughing?
Well, I can arrange that.
Well, on that happy note, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Speak soon.
You've been listening to the Rising High Extended Tea Break. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show, or to find out more about the Rising High Academy, visit risinghighacademy.com. That's risinghighacademy.com.